Hello friends and welcome to my video. So I'm creating a video after a long time. I've been busy in the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to be creating regular videos from now on. In the meantime, a lot of development in the AI arena has happened. There are new versions of ControlNet, and Adobe has a new generative fill tool in Photoshop Beta. Those of you who do not have Photoshop Beta can still access these tools in the website firefly.adobe.com. So in today's video, I'm going to do two fun projects in Adobe Generative Fill and show you what are the interesting things that you can do using this tool, even if you do not have Photoshop at home. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take Van Gogh's famous painting Starry Night and expand its scope and add some fun things to it. So I have Starry Night here, so I'm just going to download this image and I'm going to open Photopea. So Photopea, as you know, is a free sort of Photoshop alternative that you can actually use in your browser in the cloud. So I'm just going to do some basic things with Photopea. It looks absolutely like Photoshop. So those of you who have used Photoshop, you will find that you are absolutely at ease with this browser app. And for those who have not used Photoshop, this is actually very easy. We're not going to do a lot of Photoshopping today. We're just going to do a simple trick. So we're going to take a new file and let's say I want it to be 1920 by 1080, which is the normal resolution of most screens. I'm going to create that, and I'm going to create another layer, and I'm going to drag my image from my hard drive which I had just saved, or I can probably just copy paste. So let's try that. So I can just copy it here and paste it here, and I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. So for that you have to click here and then just drag by the corner and make it just a little bit smaller. Okay, just like this. And we don't want the white space around it, so I'm going to have to delete the white space around it, and for that I'm going to go to the background and then just delete the background. I think the simplest way of doing it is take the eraser and make the brush big and just simply delete everything from behind it. Okay, so now you have a background which is basically empty space. You have this image, merge it down. So I'm going to export this. So file, export as PNG. So if you export this as PNG, then what's going to happen is that that empty area behind the picture or around the picture stays empty. If you export it as JPG, I think there's an option to show you. If you export as JPG, then the empty area actually transforms into white area, which is not what we want. For this project, we want to use the PNG format, and just we're gonna have to save it, and I think it's going to give you an option to download. So I'm going to just download it here. Don't mind about the file name. So we're pretty much done here. Now we're going to go to Adobe Firefly. Okay, so we are back to Adobe Firefly. I'll provide the link down in the information, but it's very easy. It's firefly.adobe.com, and I'm going to upload this image. So as you can see, now we have a canvas where we have a picture in the middle, and we have some empty space around it. So in order to generate the fill around it and make it seamless, we'll have to remove some of these artifacts on the sides. So we're just going to zoom in and we can start deleting these things, because if you want to generate a seamless image, then these artifacts in the edges will probably create a problem for us, because Adobe is going to look at the edges and try to generate something based on the color information on the edges as well. So as you can see, there are some white marks which are not very good, which we don't want. So just carefully delete them, remove them. So one thing to remember is that we have to be in the insert mode. So if you're in the insert mode, basically you can delete. If you're in the remove mode, then you're basically only just deleting, removing. But we don't want to do that. We want to insert something in the space here. So you need to be in the insert mode. And then we're going to click on this background button. So click on this background button. What it does is that it clears up all the background information that it might have inside this. So although we uploaded an image which had empty background, but according to Firefly, that background still had some data. So when you click on this background, it actually clears up all of that information, all of that data, and it primes this image up for generation. So now that I have cleared that background, that invisible background, we have further cleared it up. Now we can generate with this prompt. So wow, it gives us some very beautiful, very believable image. It actually gives us four. So I really like what I have here, but let's look at some of the other options. So this is another option. This is another really great option. I mean, some additional buildings there, which wasn't even, which I didn't know it existed, but I don't like what I'm seeing here. And this is the fourth option. So actually, none of those are actually bad, but I like this one better. So I'm going to keep this. I'm just going to keep this, and maybe I'm going to delete that and see if I can, like generate something better here. A cathedral at night in the style of Van Gogh Starry Night. Let's see what do I get. Okay, so we did get a cathedral or a top of a cathedral. This is much better. I really like this. Okay, so I think this is probably the best. So maybe choose this or choose this. I think I like this. Let's skip this. So basically, what Firefly does is it looks at the image, it looks at the core content of the image, and replaces the missing parts based on the style of the image, and of course it takes your prompt into consideration as well. So just for fun, let's do something. Let's add a flying saucer just for fun. Okay, so we're gonna add the flying saucer here. So we'll keep this first, and then we'll just give a rough shape of a flying saucer. That's what it looks like. And then sorry, night, and let's generate. Wow, it gives us a very nice looking flying saucer. I really like this. So it has some more options. I like this. Let's just keep that. So basically, this is a very interesting tool, a very good tool to create your own images inspired by some famous artists. And I can't wait to see what you do with this tool. Now we're going to try another example, another much more real life example of a project that you guys might have if you're working the advertising media, or if you're into some kind of business, of how you can use Firefly to generate your own social media posts. So what we are going to do is we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to go back, and we're going to upload an image, and this time I'm going to upload an image. Okay, so this is an image of a girl wearing hijab, but we don't like what the dress that she's wearing. We want her to wear something nicer, because the white of the dress has absolutely, I think, it's very hard to distinguish between her dress and the backdrop. So you want something more colorful. So let's zoom in, delete this dress here because we're going to insert. So I'm just going to carefully delete this. We're going to keep the skin and the hijab in place. So if you're wondering how am I zooming in, zooming out, by pressing Control in your keyboard and using the mouse scroll wheel. So pressing Control and scrolling it out will zoom it out, and and pushing the scroll forward will zoom it in. So you don't have to change the brush again and again, because no matter how much you zoom in and zoom out, the brush circle actually size stays the same. So this is a better way of using the brush, and you can move it around by using the spacebar button. The spacebar actually gives you this hand icon with which you can move the image around. So let's make this lady wear a nice red dress, or red Indian dress. So wow, this is really really great. I mean, this really matches, and I have other options. So I like this one too. It's not bad. This one is also very nice. And finally this. So I think I really like this one. I think it's very simple and something that goes with the hijab. So I'm just going to keep that. And you can actually do even more. For example, if you downloaded this image from the internet, then of course, in order to use it, you will need the model's permission. But you don't know this model, so how will you get her permission? The best way is to entirely remove this model, to remove and replace her face using Generative Fill, so that you don't have to take permission from anyone, and this image can be yours, because the original new face that you created is created by AI. So there is no one to take permission from. So let's just zoom in on her face and just remove her face from the image. So you have to be a little bit careful. Model. Let's see what we get. Okay, it's a nice face, but there are some problems. So we'll try the next one. Try the next one. Try the next one. It's not bad, but I think I can do more. So let's just cancel that and let's just clear a bit more of her face, because I think somehow the skin area that we've left behind is affecting the quality of the image. So let's delete a bit more. Be careful to keep the hijab on. So let's see what we get. Actually, this time we got even better results. I think these faces look much better. Especially, I think this one looks really good, and this one actually looks very good as well. So yeah, I just have to keep on trying, keep on re-rolling, and if there is something I don't like, for example, there's a part of the hand I don't like, so I can just keep this face, and maybe I'll just remove it. And bangles. So again, I think I got a decent replacement, which is not bad. But the more that you use, I think the better the image is going to be. And I feel that already Adobe Firefly has done so much improvement to the idea, to the concept of in painting, that it's absolutely production perfect now. So if you're looking for an image that you can use in your social media profile for your products or for anything, you can actually go ahead and take a deep dive into Adobe Firefly, which is free at the moment for everyone. So even if you do not have Photoshop, no problem. You can always use Adobe Firefly and create the kind of image that you want. So in the next video, we'll look at some different kind of AI image tools. So in the next video, we'll look at different kinds of AI image generation tool. Hopefully you stay with me in this channel. See you again. Goodbye.